here again. And you know what? Had another kind of YouTuber moment, as I like to say, because I've seen a lot of YouTubers do this. Uh, I forgot I had this in my inventory. This is an item that you start off with. It's the Materials in You book, which explains the basics of how this mod works. It's another easy way, just in case if you've forgotten somewhere down the line or you don't watch the videos. It shows you different items and different modifications for the armor as well. So let's continue on. As I said, it's best to use this in tandem. If you're gonna melt something down in here and you get like say 20 ingots, you want to do the math where a conversion of 9 to goes in there and 1 goes and the ingots go in here. That just makes it easier so you can keep smelting down more in process. This is easy to be automated. It's not really automated now. I mean, the collection system is automated because there's a hopper in here into a chest, but it can be more automated with more mods if you choose, so be it. Ores that are added into with Tinker's Construct is Ardite ore and cobalt, both found in another, copper, tin, and aluminum. And each one of these makes a different alloy. You have tin and copper makes bronze, and copper and aluminum makes alloy brass. When you want to make molds, I recommend, there's two ways of making these casting molds. It's either using not iron, I just said it, aluminum brass or gold. And really, who wants to use gold on a, especially if you're going to go in and you're going to make all these tool parts, this is all gold that you'll be making into. Compared to if you just use aluminum brass, which is aluminum and brass, or aluminum and copper, which is not going to be, you're not really making tools out of aluminum or copper, but you'll be making it out of, you won't be making them out of gold either, but gold is more useful. I mean, golden carrots and golden apples. Plus, if you have other mods that use gold, unless you have a gold farm, I just recommend aluminum brass. Anyways, back onto it. There's now gravel, ore gravels. And now that little pip shows up. You silly little NEI. But here we have iron ore, gold, copper, and tin, and aluminum, and you can also find cobalt or gravel. Excuse me. And each one of these is just like an ore block. You can put it in a smelter and smelt it down. Also are added are bushes. There are, again, the iron, the gold, the copper, the aluminum, and the tin, and then XP bushes. These 5 bushes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counting with me, these 5 bushes need to have a dark area in order for them to grow, but the XP bushes can be grown out in the middle of light, and as it says, if you consume one of these berries, they will give you XP. Items that need like a nugget worth of gold or nugget worth of tin, if you're building something, I'll explain that in a second. You could use these as well. And what I mean by a little nugget is if you come over here back into the Tinker's Construct stuff, let's make a tool pattern. Now, the reason why I want to say tool pattern is the tool pattern, if you notice there, it says material cost 0.5. And compared to, let's say, this plate right here, the material cost for the plate is 8, which means it takes 8 ingots to make one plate, but the pattern takes 0.5. So a nugget would be a 0.5, a piece of paper would be 0.5, and a stick would be 0.5. So if you need to use an item like a stick or you want to use metals, it'll have to be used 0.5. So if you there's only not very many that do 0.5. I just believe it's just the tool rod, basic tool rod, and the tool binding is 0.5. Everything else is, and a chisel head is 0.5. Knife blade are 0.5. See, some of these things I'm kind of surprised about because I don't use them. Yeah, and the guards are 0.5. Arrows, nope. And these are some newer stuff I haven't really played around with, so over here in this corner. So, and shurikens are 0.5. So I wouldn't waste if you end up using like a metal. If you're gonna do like say a tool rod and you use the metal, I recommend making two rods, and you can either melt it down another time, or you can use it for another tool. So that's what 0.5 means. It just means how much material is being used. So anyways, we'll continue on here. I'll go down this little lane here. Whee! Boop. Next set of items are empty canisters. Empty canisters, that's the first recipe, which is tin ingots and a bone, and then just aluminum ingots. The canisters are needed to make these two babies over here. Next item is a jeweled apple, which is also needed to make this recipe here. What a canister does is, so you'll need to make a red heart canister, you need one jeweled apple, one empty canister, one miniature red heart, and one necrotic bone. Now, this comes from wither skeletons as a drop, and it's also rare, just as not as rare as a skull, but a rare drop. The reason why these are so expensive to make is because, I'll show you in a second, go into this. If you go over to this, see this in survival mode, you'll have another tab here. This is where your armor will be, and this is where you'll place other Tinker's Constructs items. And you see these slots over here. By adding a red canister heart, will give you an extra heart. Can be eaten to restore 30 hearts. I don't think you can eat the canister, but I know you can eat the heart. But it'll give you an extra heart. See, as my heart turns a bit orange. So 10 of these, 10 of these will give you the first tier. You want to stack up 10 of these before you stack these, the yellow ones. But you'll have to do 10 of these, and then so you'll do the crafting recipe and make 10. So they'll add more life onto you, right? This will stay on until I get hurt. And the next recipe is you'll need a red heart canister, so which means you need a necrotic bone. And then you'll need also the jeweled apple, but you also need a miniature yellow heart, which are dropped from bosses, dragon, wither boss, and the king slime. And I'll get more on the king slime later. And a golden apple, and the notch apple. Not a normal golden apple, but a notch apple will make you a yellow heart canister. So it's a bit expensive. The green ones I have never found in game whatsoever. As much as I played with Tinker's Constructs, I've never found it. I don't know if, I'm not 100% sure if it's implemented or not. I've never seen it from a boss drop. Some people say they've gotten from boss drops, but the only time I've ever seen them is if it's in a mod pack, and the mod pack developer adds them in himself as a loot. Next item are punji sticks, and the punji sticks are a 5 or an X pattern of sugarcane. It yields you punji sticks. The thing about punji sticks is you can line your house, unlike cactus, you can line your house on them, and they're real small. And when a mob or a person walks over them, they'll get slowness effect too, and it'll take ticks of damage. So really, they'll be slowed down sitting on top of these punji sticks and then being hurt and dying. The next item up on the list is the drying racks. Drying racks are good. They can be used like an item frame to hold up your items, but they can also be used to make go in here because there's a lot of it. Jerky. You can either make beef jerky, chicken jerky, bacon jerky. Bacon is dropped by pig iron when you use a pig iron tool, and you can make fish, mutton, and then monster jerky. Monster jerky is obviously rotten flesh, but it gives you an easier way of eating rotten flesh without getting ill side effects. And you can also make gelatinous slime drops, which comes from either the blue slime drops or the red congealed blood drops. Next item up on the list is the boop, and it disappears. But I can make it real quick. So 2 pieces of spruce. We'll do spruce ones. It looks like it deleted it. Anyways, there was 2 pieces of wood here. We'll make a barricade. And what a barricade does is exactly what it sounds like. Let me turn it to day. Is you can place this in a block, and you have a barricade. So nothing can come through it, but you can jump over it. So it's not really like a fence. I don't play around with these too much, so I don't know if mobs will jump over them, but it's something that you can play around with. There we go, put them back. Next item up on the list is called a bounce pad. Technically, I should probably put this over here, but it is. But I enjoy it so much that it should be first. That's what a bounce pad does. It launches you up in the air. It also launches items. Ooh, a little bit of lag there. Recipe is simple. Any ball, doesn't have to be a glue ball. It could be any ball. It could be red blood or blue slime or green slime. And a slime channel. Glue is actually another one I forgot to tell you, is dropping horses into the vatonator over there to make glue. Yeah. Well, that's what happens to horses. It used to happen to horses. A slime channel is just any kind of ball. Could be blood, could be green slime, blue slime, or glue, and redstone. To make the blood, it has to be a blood channel. It has to be blood. And this, it's just like a water source type thing, a short water source where we can move mobs and creatures through. And I believe Enderman could spawn in there. Let's, I'm on peaceful. Yeah, we could test that. Give me a second here. Options, easy. I keep it on peaceful because I don't want the, well, those hopping around. Come on. Get in. Oh, no, they take damage. I'm wrong. But anyways, go back out. But anyways, yeah. So they won't let Enderman spawn. Enderman won't go and do them without damage, but it'll let mobs go through it. It's shorter than water, so, and it's stationary. You can just plant it down. It's stationary. Next items on the list are just the books. Crafting recipes for the books if you happen to lose them, or you don't gain them from the unlocks. And the way you usually unlock them is you'll get this book when you craft the first piece of smeltery, this book when you craft your first tool, and I don't know how you unlock the Tinker's weapons, because I haven't played the new version of Tinker's. I'm more of an older version of Tinker's. I've actually started out with this book, so, but to craft it is just this book right here. So that's the recipe for the books, just in case you lose them, or don't gain them. Next recipe is a knapsack. Knapsack is real cool, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Switch into event survival mode. And you go over until your tips. As you remember, the armor slots, you put the knapsack in there, and you close out. Open your inventory back up again, and now you have an extra stack inventory space. A crafting recipe is simple. It's 6 pieces of leather, 2 iron tool rods, which you'll have to make with a smeltery, an iron or a gold and aluminum brass nugget ingot in the middle. Next item up are traveler's goggles. Gold is needed, glass, and leather. These are armor pieces that are implemented into this game. One set of armor pieces are implemented into this mod and can be modified like the tools. Next is the traveler's vest and the high jump. These all give you abilities to start off with, I believe. And the shoes. And then, let's see here. What's this one give you? No, I don't want to switch them. Let's take the wings, because if the wings work, yep. And you can see I can jump real high now, compared to what I used to be able to. See? And then, yep. But these can also be implemented, modified even more by adding modifiers onto it. So the next set up on the list of armor, continuing on with the armor, gloves, which can be modified, which will go into this set here, which you can add like haste to them and make your pickaxe move faster. The belt, which gives you ability to swap between certain items. And then the baby tier of armor, I like to call them. The baby armor. Your first armor that you get in when you start Minecraft. The reason why I say it's a baby tier is, well, it doesn't do that much armor for you. But it's better than nothing. So you can chop down a tree, and the crafting recipe is very simple, just like normal armor. You'll need 24 pieces of wood, wood, not the planks, to make the armor set. And I'll show you some nifty tools that have been added into this mod. Excuse me. Some of the tools that I recommend you make when you have the ability to. The first one up is an excavator. As you can see here, I have a 3x3 block of dirt. What does an excavator do? Well, compared to normal shovel, which will only take out one piece of dirt, the excavator will do this. Knock out the full, complete 3x3 block of dirt. Next up is the hammer. The hammer does the same exact thing as the shovel, but does it with stone instead, or stone products. So good for mining through and making branch mines and whatnot. Next two items are the Millennium Scythe. Just like a normal scythe, if you know what a scythe is, or played with mods with scythes in it, it does the same exact thing. It should take off the leaves. Okay, it doesn't want to take off the leaves. Okay. But it should reap the leaves off a lot easier. The next, I might not be using it right. And I think it's also a weapon as well. It uses a weapon. And the next thing is a lumber axe. They're one of the best tools in the game. That's right, I just felled the tree with one simple swoop. So guys, hope you enjoyed this episode, or this part. Not really an episode, it's a part. And I'll continue on in the next part. We'll be talking about the Iguana Tweaks section and the Slime Island and some mobs. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.